Education is the critical pathway to improvement, both as an individual and as a nation or society. But can our environment impact our ability to learn? In today's episode, we'll look at whether hot temperatures impair long-term learning and what factors might magnify any impairment or protect against it. There's little argument that education is a priority for both an individual and for society. From kindergarten through to universities, we've seen debate and studies on how virtual learning has impacted education and long-term development throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Across the world, there are lots of disparities in terms of academic performance, which flows downstream to disparities in human capital and societal development. A lot of this disparity continues to stem from the effects from centuries of colonialism, which can still be seen in factors such as agricultural productivity, child nutrition, and disease prevalence and burden. Many studies have shown that mental performance is acutely impaired by heat or high body temperatures. In a 2021 analysis, Park and colleagues argue that hot temperatures can also significantly affect long-term learning. In the top map, 58 countries are shown with the number of days with average temperatures greater than 26.7 degrees Celsius in the period from 1995 to 2015, so over 20 years. On the bottom is mapped those countries' performance in the PISA, a standardized test done on 15-year-olds every 3 years that focuses on math, reading, and science. Lower numbers and red colors are worse, while higher values and blue are better. Overall, there is a pretty strong relationship between more hot days and lower PISA performance. This remained true even after the researchers controlled for factors like the country's economic status, reliance on an agricultural economy, and also transient spikes in weather and temperature. How much did hot temperatures affect learning? The researchers gave an example of Brazilian students learning roughly 6% less per year than South Korean students, which accounted for about 1/3 of the difference in PISA scores between the two countries. As you can imagine, a 6% decrement each year grows exponentially throughout a child's educational years and then throughout their lifetime. You've probably heard the phrase, correlation does not equal causation. So, can the authors really prove that hot temperatures cause impaired learning? They studied this by separating whether the hot days occurred during a school day or a non-school day like weekends or holidays. We see that overall, hot days during school days had a major negative impact on PISA test scores, while non-school days had minimal impact. They also separated analyses by richer versus poorer countries and showed a much greater impairment with heat during school days in poorer countries. Next, the authors focused on just the United States, a developed and wealthy country overall, using a different standardized test. The same pattern of heat during school days having a strong negative impact compared to non-school days was seen. Another familiar pattern was seen with low-income districts being heavily impacted by hot weather, with minimal to no effect in higher-income school districts. An unfortunate pattern of minorities being heavily impacted was also evident. Finally, younger students in grades 3 to 5 seem more impacted than older children in grades 6 to 8. One theory advanced by the authors for all of these disparities is that this reflects the absence or prevalence for air conditioning in schools. There's a lot to reflect on with this study. Even a slight change in learning outcomes can have huge effects for a person and a society, and heat is only becoming more of an issue with the climate crisis. we'll need to be creative with solutions, as simply adding air conditioning throughout all schools might be effective, but would also contribute further to global warming. I hope this video warms you up to the fascinating ways in which our environment affects us. I'm Professor Stephen Chung, and I run the Environmental Ergonomics Lab in the Department of Kinesiology at Brock University in Canada. We post new videos every Wednesday on different aspects of the environment and how it affects us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.